Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our horizontal planners for the next week in July. And I've got some mild liners here as well as some color dot markers ready to go, as well as some washi tape I may use, and these sticker books which I'll pull from. So this is the third week of the July Plannable Challenge, and this week's theme is Christmas in July. So if you'd like to participate, go ahead and post your spreads up on Instagram using the hashtag PlannableJuly2021. We'd love to see what you come up with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by laying down some wax paper and struggling a little bit with this one. I pulled out my Merry and Bright sticker books mainly for this spread. Because of the color scheme I thought I would use, has lots of oranges and kind of like peachy tones. Kind of unusual for a Christmas book, but I figured Christmas in July, that could really work well with this theme, kind of more of a warm Christmas. So that's what I decided on. And I'm just going to go ahead and start laying things here on the spread. Wasn't really sure how I was going to get this guy started. Didn't really have a solid plan, but as I started laying things in, kind of just veered towards a middle page decor and more of like a collage-y style. So I'm just going to lay in some focus boxes that I pulled in the color scheme I'm working with and start pulling in things to be decored strips down the center of the spreads on each side of the page. So that's what I'm going to be going for. So I'm just going to lay things in as I see them in the color scheme. No real rhyme or reason to start off with, just laying things in and going through the book, pulling things in haphazardly. This spread doesn't feel overly Christmas when I'm done with it, which you'll see, but I think it feels, I don't know, holiday-esque. Gives you some holiday vibes, as you'll see. And then just all of the items that I'm mentioning here, the warm wishes and the happy Christmas and the friendmas, all that stuff geared obviously towards the holidays and Christmas time. So we're going to work with that. Just laying in, like I said, stickers basically in that kind of burnt red color, the darker orange, and then some of that lighter like pinky peach tone. Those are the main colors I'm working with a hint or an accent of green, which you'll see come in a little bit more near the end. And here I thought I might introduce some of that green with this washi sticker strip and see if that played well with this. So I'm just going to lay that down and keep pulling in items here for those middle columns. I like these little confetti dots that are part of some of the stickers, so I will be using that kind of sprinkled in here and there for texture. I did pull my mild liners in the thought of bringing in texture through those, either doing some kind of dot pattern or, you know, maybe like some snow was the idea. And I think that that would be really cute. I just, in the end, when everything gets laid down, I decide to kind of pull back and keep things minimal because of all of that confetti dot that's already present in a lot of the stickers on the spread. I didn't want it to feel too cluttered or overwhelming because these columns have a lot going on, and so I just felt like keeping that the busy part of the spread was the way to go and kind of dialed back a little bit on the texture in other areas. So I decided to bring in a little bit of the green here through this wreath, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it in half and kind of have it near the top and the bottom. Again, just to have a little bit of that color. I also didn't want it to be too overwhelming, so I cut it in half and kind of have it off the page. I think that works a lot better than having a big green wreath right in the center. And here I'm reworking the placement of some of these stickers, trying to balance things out and fill up gaps, make things feel kind of natural, but I'm also really focused in on kind of honing that column of decor so it feels somewhat contained in that middle section of the page and not too much spread out into the other areas of each of the days. So really focusing in on making it like a column straight down the page. And at this point, I think that the left side is looking really good. The right side still feels a little bit cluttered and a little bit disjointed, so I'm going to be tightening things up, trying to make things feel a little bit closer together and a little more related to each other in a more structured way. I'm going to use that confetti dot to kind of fill those gap spaces a bit. So I cut one in half, and here I'm just moving things around. Like I said, trying to fill in some of those obvious gap areas. Also going to clean up this focus box layering. Maybe do a little bit more here on this side as well. Surprisingly, I end up not using the third sticker book I had pulled, the winter sticker book. I thought I might pull in some more of that orange and red from there because it does have a similar color palette, but it's not quite the same, and I was able to do everything I needed to do just out of these Merry and Bright sticker books. Pulling in a couple more focus boxes as I come across them. Decided to bring in one in this kind of softer pink peach tone. And here's where I kind of decided that those green strips really weren't working. They're a little bit too big and awkward, so then I thought maybe I would use the skinnier strips, but that didn't help at all either, so we'll see if something else is a better fit. And I didn't like those, so we're going to go ahead and put those back. And I realize I need one more focus area here. So I'm just going to do some rearranging, get things laid in. And I like that. Keep that where that was. Move things around a bit. Just looking for a few more items here on the right hand side to fill in some areas that feel a little bit sparse. And I like these presents. I have the right color scheme and bringing in a little bit more of the green. Already brought in a few snowflakes in the green. So the green's not quite the same. Some is a little bit more teal, others a little bit more like true green. So just working that in, but I think the presents kind of help bridge the gap with the color scheme in there, with the darker and the lighter greens. And just looking for a few tiny bits of things that I can put in here. Going to cut off this cupcake and use just a little snowman topping there just to fill the gap at the bottom. And I need something up here at the top, I think, just to close this off. Move some things around. See if I can get this candy cane to fit up here. And I'm going to cut up some of this confetti to fill that gap. I think we're getting close. It's going to move a few tiny things around so that I can tighten things up a little bit more. Put a few things back into the book that I'm not going to be using. And put these strips back as well. Since I think I'm going to try rolling this stuff off of the wax paper, I want to make sure that I have it pretty clean. And I thought about actually putting lines to define out where those columns of items were, because I feel like it needs a little bit of structure, but I don't like that idea. Maybe I'll do something else once I get it laid down on the page, because right now I feel, like I said, it needs some containment in some form or another. So I'm going to go ahead and start moving over some of these focus boxes, just kind of getting the placement set for those before I try to move over the decor stickers. Just moving those over one by one so I can get them nice and straight and even on the page. And then I'm going to move over a couple of things by hand because the items have a sharp edge there that needs to align with the bottom of the page. So I move that wreath over, and now I'm going to try and move the rest of the column over using my wax roll-off technique. It's a little bit more difficult when the stickers aren't touching, but I think this will at least help keep the placement where I want it. But I notice it's a little bit crooked, so I want to make sure everything is lined up nice and straight before I venture to pull it off of the wax paper. And like I said, some things don't come off as easily just because they're so small and they're not touching anything else, so I have to do a little bit of coaxing on some things and move things over by hand in other areas, but at least a majority of the stickers came off where I needed them, and then I could just kind of adjust the placement of the smaller things as needed. So I like that, that's pretty clean, and we're going to go ahead and try the other side. And here you guys will see I try to get this guy where I think it needs to go, but then it always ends up in the wrong area. And a friend of mine on YouTube, Liz, recently sent me some happy mail with Undo. And I've never tried it before, but I did a sample off camera when I got it, and oh my gosh, you guys, get ready. It's awesome. It's like this liquid. At first I thought it was going to seep into the paper, but it like evaporates and just completely disappears and makes your stickers come up without any problems. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Liz, for sending me this, because I probably would have been too chicken to actually buy it and try it, because I was thinking it's liquid, it's gonna run and just make a big mess. But no, it's awesome. And yeah, so Undo. I'm a convert now for removing those stickers that you lay down too early on your page. It's awesome. So I was able to adjust the placement of that wreath so it was more centered. Still not perfect, and I will make an adjustment later, but I'm going to go ahead and move off the other stickers, kind of situating it in that center placement that I was trying to get to before. And again, coaxing some of those stickers off against their will. Just trying to get things lined up. But it's definitely easier to do it this way than to place it by hand, because things always get out of whack and off center, or they, when you have so many stickers like this all related to each other and you try to move them over one by one, the placement just quickly gets off, and then you're kind of in trouble where things start skewing out of the realm of where you had them originally. So I made that adjustment to the wreath above, and now I'm going to put in some bullets using my brand new clean dot markers that I got off of Amazon. They are lighter than I expected them to be. They look like they were going to be more primary colors, but I really like them. I love the idea of this like dauber style marker that you can mark down and make a circle really easily, as big or as small as you need it. This is my first time using it on a spread, and I really liked the style of it. I really liked the kind of soft color of it, so excited to try this again in the future on another spread. And what I decided to do here is lay in this washi tape, this very thin washi tape, as kind of a border around the entire spread, just to contain things a bit and make it feel, like I said, a little more like it had some structure put into the spread. It's really subtle, but I think it's enough to at least make you feel like you're looking at one thing, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to quickly lay in that. And once I have that in, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!